even show up for his successor's swearing in. That's a bad transition. The last transition Donald Trump was part of was the worst presidential transition in the history of the country. And given how disastrously he performed in that last transition, I mean, you have to just assume that this one inherently will be better. It has to be, right? But I think it is worth being blunt about the fact that it might be close, because this, too, is a terrible, terrible presidential transition. And I think it ought to be more central to the way that we are talking about what's going on in politics and in our country and in government at this moment. Because this is the transition where the president-elect, right, throughout the presidential transition period, has continued to sell his junk, right, his self-branded watches and sneakers and Bibles. He put out a new Inauguration Day edition of his special branded Bible. He's still selling boots. Now he's selling Trump boots and his new crypto, whatever it is, and his commemorative coins and his commemorative guitars. He's selling this stuff while he is the president-elect. Nothing like that has ever happened before. Nothing that classless and tacky has ever happened to the U.S. presidency before. This is the transition where he said at a press conference that it might have been Hezbollah that did the January 6th attack. Really, Hezbollah did it. He also said at that same press conference that he's going to pardon the people who did the January 6th attack. Well, I'm sure Hezbollah will be delighted. This is the transition where he made unprovoked threats to seize territory from three other nations with whom we are allied. And that is, of course, inexplicable to those countries. It's inexplicable to most Americans, but it's also equally very exciting to the dictators of Russia and China, who actually have been either seizing territory from other countries or planning to. And now, whether or not Trump actually follows through on these weird threats, those two dictators will have Trump's words during the transition to throw back at the United States of America if the U.S. ever again bothers to object to big countries like theirs stomping on small countries and seizing their land.